Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Experience. On this episode, I wanted to share my thoughts about the tragedy of the people who died on that submarine, the Oceangate submarine, going down to see the Titanic. Now, I'm a little bit late to this. Right, it's already been confirmed that they're dead. It's been a couple of days now, and pieces of the sub have been found. Still thought I'd share my thoughts. So we know this, that the amount of media attention of this versus the story about the 500 refugees that have drowned off the coast of Greece. We got a whole lot more attention than that. And this is the reason why I think why is because we have this love-hate relationship with the rich, or the love aspect where we're drawn to stories of the rich, and the refugees, they're middle class, or maybe considered even poor. We're not drawn to, people are just generally not fascinated with that, because middle class, that's just like you and me, or poor, their lives aren't as they're not something that's out of the ordinary, but not that our lives being middle class or the poor are worth any less, of course not, but there's something about and we can just take this as an example, that show back in the 80s, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. The reason that was popular was because we want to know how these people lived, their lifestyles. And going back to the people that were on this Oceangate sub, they were billionaires. They paid $250,000 each to be on there. Of course, you know all these facts, but the point I was trying to make is that this is what the media is drawn to, the people who are affluent, and talking about the love-hate relationship we have with the rich, the hate aspect. When we see people that we put on a pedestal, such as the rich, and when they have their downfall, that's what we look at too. For example, with celebrities, when they're caught in a scandal, that the media gravitates toward that. They wouldn't make a random story about Joe Schmo who cheated on his wife that no one knows. No one would really care much for that if it's just an average everyday person that's not in the media. But when it's someone who is either rich / and or famous, that's you get my point. Now, there's something about when people that have this high status, when they either fallen from grace or something tragic happens. And I've seen all the memes, and I didn't post them, and I couldn't bring myself to even chuckle, because I don't think death should be celebrated. Perhaps we could find relief when someone passes away that's cruel, that caused harm to others, that was murderous, that was some sort of psychopath. Perhaps we can be glad that they're gone. But to celebrate a death, no, I think all life is precious. And then I think there's this lost potential as to what that person could have been, or how that person could have changed, repented. Some people never change. That's true too. Now, youngest person on board was the son of Shahzada Dawood, Suleiman Dawood, He was only 19. It's the age of a college freshman. And reports are saying that he just went on that submarine just to please his dad, to spend quality time with him, even though he was afraid, because he wanted to put on a brave face. But going back to what I was saying, we're drawn to these stories of where people are just taken off their pedestal, because I feel like it humanizes them when when they pass away. It shows how like they're just like everyone else. Death is the great equalizer. Rich, poor, young, old, we all go to the grave. And I think that's what people think about too, with this particular story. I don't know if like people like do all these memes, post them up to necessarily be cruel, but I think it's like that hate aspect of that love-hate relationship with the rich, where how should I say, we want to like humanize them, it brings them down to earth, makes them seem like us average everyday people. Well, I gotta say that I'm not immune to being drawn to stories of the rich myself. I watched all of Bling Empire, just the original show, not the one in all of the episodes for New York. Number one, because they're Asian American backgrounds, such as myself. But I was curious as to what it's like for them, and it's somewhat what I expected, like all the bling, very fancy clothes, extravagant spending, but their conversations, their problems, they were similar to us. Like some of it was trivial between like the friendships, so-called friendships between them, but they were just human beings like us, and I think that's what draws people to shows like those reality shows about the rich, because I think the side of us wants to see how they're like us, and all those other things, those details of like the clothes, the cars, these huge homes. Those are details compared to who they are as human beings. All right, so I've said all my thoughts. I think I did. Well, this is Bobby with the Bobby Experience. I think it's something I just want to conclude, that no matter who we are, our socioeconomic status, all life is precious. Right? Take care. Bye-bye.